Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Oliver Saunders. I'm here with my boy Adam Churchman. Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday pod. We're going to switch it up a little bit today. We're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to dive a little bit more into our stories as hosts, as people, as humans, you know what I mean? So this episode, we're going to kick off to Adam. He's going to give you a little bit more about our story, his story, and take it off. Take it away from
Yeah,
here.
thanks, man. I think one of the things that I became very aware of was that we bring people on every single week for episodes, and they share a whole lot about us.
Yes.
And I think it's amazing. But as community grows deeper, it's important that we allow our community to know a little bit more about us. So
Completely agree.
I'm excited to share a little bit and just open up and let you guys know a little bit about who I am. So first and foremost, I grew up in the steel city of Hamilton, Ontario. Grew up East Coast. You know your geography.
A little bit.
Yeah, grew up with. I have amazing family. Parents divorced at an early age. I don't remember. I don't think I have a memory of them together. Definitely before kindergarten. I know for sure my parents were divorced, and I moved around a fair bit from kindergarten to the time I was in the fourth grade. I think I moved to like 3 or 4 different cities. And I was thinking about it the other day because I knew we were going to come on and talk about our stories.
Yeah.
One of the things I struggled with a lot in my life, I always jumped groups of friends. Like I used to call it my 2-year itch. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, I wonder, I'm no psychologist, so I don't know this to be true.
Yeah.
But part of me wonders if it has to do with how much I moved when I was younger and had to change friends so often.
So you didn't. So it wasn't. It's funny because I've felt that too because I went to 7 different high schools.
Wow.
So yeah, I used to get in trouble. I call it networking. Whatever. but I think that it's like you sort of develop like thick skin to where like because you're so used to moving that you don't want to build a real connection with somebody because you know in the back of your mind every connection that you've had so far has been taken or
right.
You know?
And I don't know if I consciously knew that or felt like that, and that's why I said I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. But I think I was always really friendly and really, really social. Like I'm an extreme extrovert. Like if you know me, like I love people. I get my energy off being around people. But I always kept people at like arm's length. Like I was funny or nice or whatever. Yeah. But like I wasn't a guy who like I had friends and social groups. But like I remember I didn't have a lot of friends that would like come over to my house or like do any of that kind of stuff. And I sometimes wonder if it had to do with all that moving. And so I struggled in school a ton. I know it's hard to believe, but I didn't do the best with my grades because I'm so intelligent now.
I still don't believe it.
Yeah. So I struggled a lot in school. I was diagnosed in the 5th grade with ADD, ADHD, and that was like early 90s. So I don't think it was, as prevalent as it was now. So, and as a result of that, I remember specifically all of a sudden, it was like, oh, now we have to do all these different things because you got this diagnosis. It's like, oh, you need to go to this class for this thing and this for that. And it's like, it started like really making me feel like I was a weirdo and different than all the other kids because you have to learn differently, or maybe you'd have to take tests differently, or we're going to put you in this classroom with these kids here who also struggle, right? And I instantly felt like I didn't really fit in. And I think my self-esteem shrunk a lot. I remember being very young and just thinking I was dumb. And I actually, it's funny, I have certain rules and standards. Like Eliza and I, when we are in a relationship, like there's certain things, we argue like any couple will.
Of course.
But the one like caveat for me is you never call someone stupid or dumb, because I grew up my entire life feeling that way. Yeah. Like I actually,
it's a trigger. It's
right,
more than just a word to you.
Right. For me, it's like if someone's to call me stupid or dumb, I'm like, I am dumb. You know what I mean? Like it takes me right back there. Right. So that's one of those things. And I remember feeling that way as a kid. And so again, struggled in school, parents divorced, no shot. My parents are great. They moved on to have happy, healthy lives with other partners. And I'm really blessed with that. Great step parents. But there was some rocky periods where they wasn't so easy. And I struggled a lot. And so I came to in the 7th grade, I was skipping school a lot. Well, faking sick a lot.
Yeah.
My mom, no, for real. Check this backfire. So my mom is a nurse, and I was complaining in the 6th grade about stomach pain because I didn't want to go to school.
Right.
Like I was dumb. I didn't enjoy things. And so I was looking for any excuse not to go. So I was like, I got stomach pain. I got stomach pain. And I did it so many times that my mom was like, well, we need to go and get you an ultrasound.
Right.
I was like, sick, another day off school. Okay,
right.
Let's do that. When they did that ultrasound, they found that my left kidney was only working like 25%.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and now it's down to like 10, I think. But like it was like 25%, and they were like, well, you need surgery. And so 6th grade Adam is freaked out.
For sure.
Have the surgery. And the surgery took place probably the following year. I was in the 7th grade. It was 94. And I remember this because as a kid who didn't have a great self-esteem, I was raised on like 80s, early 90s hip hop, and then obviously like the Seattle rock and roll, punk rock, grunge rock, all that kind of stuff. And when I was in the hospital having the surgery was when Kurt Cobain had killed himself. And I remember staying up because I was in the hospital bed by myself for a lot, and we had these little TVs right beside us. And I remember that was the first time that I felt like, oh, if you're not happy, you can kill yourself.
Damn.
Right, at 12, right? And
Damn.
and that stuck with me for years and years. We'll get to that a little bit later. But at 12 years old, that was the first time I felt that way, right? And so got out of the hospital, and I started meeting some new friends. These guys also struggled like I struggled. Wasn't the most athletic guy in the world, so I didn't feel cool. I was kind of smaller, on the smaller side. And so these guys kind of, when I got out from surgery, they kind of took me under their wing because I was like this frail little healing kid, and they took me under the wing, and so I just started hanging out with them. Nice kids, but into the wrong shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 7th grade, already smoking weed and drinking and all that kind of stuff. And so that's the world that I got wrapped up in. By the time I was in high school, same sort of stuff was going on. Fights happened a lot. And after the 9th grade, my high school, it's funny you say you were at like 7 different schools.
Yeah.
My high school didn't expel me, but they just asked if I wouldn't come back.
Yeah, I had that a couple times.
Yeah, they're like you didn't. We can't like you.
Yeah.
We
We
just
don't want to ruin your. They were like, we don't want to ruin you not being able to get in anywhere else. Probably because they're like, we might be stuck with this kid.
Right.
So they were like, but you got to go.
But please leave.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do that. And my mom, I don't know if it was my mom or my dad who found the school, but it was like an hour away, actually closer to where my dad lived. And my mom would drive me up to the bus stop, which was like 45 minutes to get to the bus stop. And then I'd take the bus in. It was this small little private school. It was like 400 people from kindergarten to grade 12. So like small. And then in comes me. And my younger brother decided to come along. He was like, if I was in grade 10 at the time, he was grade 8. And he came along. And so here we came, just these like, for lack of a better term, like delinquenty punks.
Yeah.
And it didn't go well for me there. I got expelled halfway through the year. Again, carrying I was getting into a fight with a 19-year-old. I was 16, 15. I didn't know how big this kid was going to be. I had been an idiot and was bullying another person, and they happened to have an older cousin.
Big ass cousin.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, shit. And so
cool.
I found this metal chair leg that was broken, and I kept it as just in case I needed it. And it fell out during a fight, so I got expelled for carrying a concealed weapon.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was not charged, which police were involved, but they didn't charge me.
That's a blessing.
That's super blessed. I've been very blessed with the law and not getting a criminal record.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely some times that were close.
Yeah.
And so I got expelled, which sent me back to my old school that never officially expelled me. So the 10th grade was a hard year. I ended up only getting 3 credits. So now I'm also, not only do I think I'm dumb.
You're behind.
I'm behind.
Right.
Like really
So
behind.
paperwork is saying that you're either not doing the work or not applying yourself. Right.
Right.
So what people have been telling you
is now
being sort of
it's almost like a self-fulfilling
It's almost
prophecy.
like reconfirmed.
Right. So self-esteem gets really, really low.
But not true.
but not
that
true.
Seemed to be
Right. And it's funny because, you know, teachers would always bring me in and counselors and be like, and my dad would laugh. He's like, this kid is fooling all of you guys.
Right.
He know, like, ask him a statistic of the Toronto Maple Leaf Center. And
Right. Ask him something he cares about. He's not
everything he cares about. He knows everything.
Right.
He's fooling you guys.
Right.
And so my dad actually, it's funny. I got myself in some more trouble in high school, and again got suspended. Again that same year, got myself suspended for being the ringleader of a group that beat up a guy, and
A gang.
Yeah.
A ringleader of a group of people.
A group of friends. We didn't have a name, but shit. So I got suspended for 10 days, and my dad went to the school and said, "You guys are idiots. These kids wear these suspensions like badges of honor. His 10-day suspension now, he's the man with all of his people.
Right.
Because he's like this badass kid who doesn't give a shit. And
Right.
Right. And they said, okay, Warren, which was my dad's name, what should we do? He's like, make him do something embarrassing or whatever. So they gave me a 5-day suspension, and then they added on after school janitor work. So I was mopping hallways and cleaning the school.
Damn,
I'm like,
Warren.
thanks, Dad.
Warren.
Yeah. So that was my high school life, right?
Okay.
My high school life was that I got into drugs at a really young age, like I was saying.
Yep.
And by the end of high school, I was hooked on crystal meth. I was doing ketamine at school, or ketamine was like my after, like I'd come home from school and take a bump of ketamine and go to bed for my nap.
Yeah.
And ecstasy, got into the late 90s rave scene and partying a fair bit. And so really, really struggled with addiction. And I got myself kicked out of my house a number of times. My mom kicked me out of my house a few times. And that's not a shot at my mom.
No, it wasn't. We weren't at home doing your homework and staying out of trouble.
Right. There's like, what are we going to do with you, man? Like, you're not like.
Let me ask you something. How was your brother?
My brother's a funny story. So my brother, he smartened up probably earlier than me.
Right.
But he was worse than me for a period of time when he was younger. We used to nickname him Captain Dangerous. We got him I bought him a hockey jersey, LA Kings, because we liked West Coast hip hop. Yeah. And I put a Captain logo and we put Dangerous on the back, and we would call him Captain Dangerous
because he was whatever.
He had no fear at all. He would do anything. Yeah. But he straightened himself out first.
Right.
He had an experience that led him to like smartening up, and my brother's one of the probably most intelligent people that I know, and so when he finally applied himself, he fucking flew off. Like he became great. Right. And so he started off not great, but he turned himself around in high school. And so I was doing so when I got kicked out, sleeping in parks and doing all that stuff that you do when you're homeless and sleeping in parks. Yeah. My mom finally said, if you want to come home, you need to do two things. Number one, you need to finish high school, because I had 1 credit left. And number two, you need to get off drugs. And so at that point, I was like kind of tired of doing drugs. I was, I think, 19 or whatever. And so I went into not rehab, but I went to weekly drug counseling, where my counselor started it was really practical. I've never been to a full out rehab thing, so I don't know how those fully work, but
I've been there.
Yeah. Right. So so for me, it was, about making smarter choices, right? So she was like, well, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, well, it's New Year's Eve. I'm going to a rave. And she's like, so what's the plan? Right. And it's like, okay, so I won't do any ketamine. I'll just do crystal meth to keep me awake. Right. This was progress.
Right. She's like, well,
hoping for a better answer. But do you know what I mean? Like, she was really practical with the steps for me. And so that's why I think when we talked about our sobriety episode back at a while back, like for me, it's about choices, and there's not a one-size-fits-all method to it. Sure. Like, it's not like you have to.
There's no black and white.
Like, cold turkey is the only way, or this or that, because my experience has been a little bit different. Right. And so we did these make a plan, and then let's review the plan afterwards. So hey, how'd it go? Not good. Okay, why didn't it go? What, you know what I mean? It's like,
how'd it go?
Yeah, I was like, I got into a really big K hole, and it was like, well, how'd that happen when you weren't even going to do any K? Right. And it was like, well, so this is right, and we would figure out what led me to not do the things that I said I wanted to do. Yeah. And so, so that eventually got me clean off of those hard drugs.
Wow.
Yeah, which was
crazy. That's a blessing, man.
It is a blessing. And so I went away to college, and I hated college. So I dropped out of college. So I got my life right, but like from a drug perspective.
Right.
But I was still like, I was living down there, and I was dirt poor. Like I was eating like cans of Stag chili, and like for 1 month I had no food except for like toast, and I had Cheerios and chocolate sauce.
Yeah.
So I'd have toast would be my meal, and
Yeah.
Cheerios and chocolate sauce
Dessert?
was gonna be it was my dessert.
Hey,
So
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and, stealing
Struggle meals.
toilet paper and napkins from like
For sure.
McDonald's and
Yeah.
stuff like that, so that I didn't have to buy toilet paper and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was living and my mom was like, "You are like," I moved away to a town called London. She's like, "No." My mental health went down deep, and I got pretty depressed. I don't know if I was fully suicidal at the time, but pretty depressed. And so my mom was like, you got to come home. Like, this is not good for you. I had started going to church, and I actually found myself pretty involved with the local church for a little while. Moved back to Hamilton and kept that going. I actually went to seminary school during that time to be like a youth pastor. It wasn't the right fit for me. No shot at them. They're a great group of people there.
Yeah.
But it was just
This wasn't for you.
It just wasn't for me, right?
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, and so during that time, though, I was given amazing opportunities to work with youth, which is like my passion is working with young people and helping people.
Right.
And then it also gave me the opportunity to start speaking, like public speaking, which if I had never had, I bet you right now I'm not sitting here if I had not been given that opportunity. Because as a youth leader, youth pastor, I got to share messages with them every single Friday night. And our youth group was cool as fuck. We had super Christian-y religious kids. We had gay kids. We had pregnant teen moms in there. Like we had the whole gamut of people. And so it was a really cool experience that helped shape me. Yeah. But when I left the church, I didn't want to give up the charity helping people, so I did join a few charities. I joined a group. It's called Live Different now, but it was called Absolute Leadership Development. Yeah. And we would travel across the country with kids who just graduated high school and rock bands, and do public speaking events at high schools all across Canada, and then into Michigan and the United States and stuff like that, where I got to share my story about being a bit of a dipshit in high school, right? So I started to get I always say my story has seasons to it, right? Season 1 is sucking at school and getting into trouble and doing drugs, right? And season 2 is sort of where I smartened up and got myself into the church and charity world. I'd probably say I'm on season 4 right now. Yeah. And so season 2 is I've got all this purpose, and I'm living my life with tons of purpose and value. When you're on a stage and you're inspiring people, and young people are coming up to you and other people telling you thank you, whatever, it really makes you believe in yourself. You know what I mean? And feels really good. Not to mention your ego, because other people are telling you how great you are all the time, right? So for a dude who naturally doesn't really like himself too much,
that's helping.
Right. Having other people at least say it was something.
Right. You can start believing it.
Right. And so after that, I was doing that for a couple of years, but it didn't pay well. Be real, there were still bills that needed to pay. I think my first year working for the charity, I had just gotten married for my first marriage, and combined income, because we both worked for the same charity, I think was $24,000 for the year for the two of us. Granted, we were on the road, so they would help pay when you're on the road and stuff. Right. But I can't live off of that, right? And so the decision was made we were going to stop doing that. And I went back into, I was okay, if I'm not in the charity world anymore, I kind of lost all of my purpose. I went back into the factory world. And in the factory world, you're just paying your bills and living your life. I was working 12-hour continental shifts. I wasn't a healthy guy.
Wasn't happy.
I still had a fringe aspect of that old life, because I got to do some amazing work in Haiti after the earthquakes and stuff. I was down there a number of times and did amazing things. But as those opportunities sort of closed and went away, I got lost. I started first marriage, obviously it fell apart, and relationships even afterwards fell apart. And a lot of the times was because I was not happy. I was struggling with my
Right.
mental health. I was making poor decisions. And so,
What you were putting outward wasn't the best,
right.
of course.
Right. And like, and it's difficult to be around people who are always like that because, you know, it's not like it just impacts you. It impacts the people around you as well, right? And so if you're difficult to be around, like,
People not going to want to be around.
right, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Nobody wants to be around me. I'm
Right,
a loser.
right.
Well, you're not easy.
You're not making it easy to
Right.
people. Like when people do want to be around you, they're like, "Let me get up out of here." 'cause-
Yeah, exactly. They can
Yeah.
only take so much.
Huh?
And so after failed relationship, working in a job that I saw no real like upside to, I literally used to pretend I was in prison at work. Like
Yeah.
I would work 9 or 12-hour like night shifts,
Yeah.
stacking pallets of
Yeah.
stuff. And I was just, there's a scene in American History X where they're packing like
Yeah. That movie crazy.
the laundry.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's like, slow down, bro. It's not going anywhere. That was the same mindset I had. I'm just
Right.
stacking, doing my time, doing my time.
Right.
Which is a terrible psychological place to think that your job is jail.
Right.
But,
right.
that's how I was living, right?
Right.
And so after all of that, I literally felt like there was no reason. I was in my early 30s at the time, and I was like, I'm done. And I was ready to kill myself. And I had a conversation with my mom because my mom is an amazing woman. She's always someone that I've been able to, like, when push comes to shove, can talk to her, and she's going to do what she needs to do to take care of her sons. And she said, okay, if you're feeling this way, you know, tomorrow, what do you want to do? Like, tomorrow we can take you to the doctor to talk to somebody. And it was late at night. And I said, Mom, I don't think I'm going to be here tomorrow. She said, well, okay, well, we're going, right? And decided, like, all right, then. So we're going to go. So she checked me into the psych ward.
That night?
That night.
Oh, yeah. You never know. She was looking out for you.
Dude, I was living on the 12th floor of my apartment. I was just going to go.
God damn.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
which
crazy.
is one of the things they ask you is like, do you have a plan? I was like, oh, yeah, I have
That's
a plan.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that it's just like that. You know what I mean? It's, yeah.
And so they put me in. I thought they put you in for like 24 hours to like observe you.
72, right?
Bro, I wish it was 72. They made a mistake on the paperwork on the intake, so they had the right to hold me for 14 days.
Oh, snap. 2
So
weeks.
I was
You was in there for 2 weeks?
locked in there 2 weeks. Couldn't smoke, couldn't do anything.
You was
like
detoxing, probably tripping.
right, surrounded by other people in a psych ward.
Right.
Like,
that are
like legitimately there with some real, not to say like, I don't want to downplay like suicidal thoughts and all that kind of stuff, but like
I know what you mean.
there was like some real
schizophrenia,
right? Yeah,
type,
yeah.
like hearing voices type.
Yeah, like real.
Not knocking anybody.
Real shit.
Yeah.
And so I was there for like 14 days, and when I got out, it was weird because I was like, whoa. I was only gone for 14 days. I can't imagine someone who's been locked up for a long time. And when they come out of, you know what I mean? To be like, life kept going. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a weird feeling. And I was like, wow, now what do? I had to go back to work and do all these different things. I'd love to be able to say that my life changed right away at that point. It didn't really. I still was using like Coke and drinking too much and whatever. But I eventually, I remember when I was in the hospital, my dad came to visit me, and he quoted this like line from a movie called Big Chill. That movie is about a bunch of people who were high school friends who come back because one of their high school friends had killed themselves, and they all come back for the funeral. And there's a line in the movie, I think it's maybe like the priest or somebody says, he's like, when did being a good man stop being enough? And I remember when my dad said that to me, it like lifted this huge weight off my shoulders.
He's like, you're a good man, bro. Like, you're a good person. At the end of the day, if everything else fails, you're a good dude.
Right.
What
and
else
it's
do you need?
Right. And so like for a guy who was like, I don't have purpose anymore, I'm not helping other people, I'm just a factory guy, whatever, to hear the idea that just being a good man is enough was that switch that started me moving in that right direction, which is one of the prayers that I pray every night is just help me be a good man. Like if at the end of the day I treated people well and you know what I mean, like and my motives were good, then I can go to sleep with peace, right?
You'd be happy.
So that was, you know, the beginning of my changes, and then from there, this is where like I guess season 4 would start in my life, where I called up my homie Scott. He owned a bar in town, and just like a local artist and whatever, really cool guy. And he was in great shape. He's going to come on the podcast one day for sure. And he helped change my life, because I reached out to him and I was like, hey, do you think you could show me some things about like the gym and stuff? And he's like, why don't you just come with me? And at this time, I'm like 5'9", sitting like 165, 170 right now. I was 210 pounds. Big ass beard,
just not you.
Not good. Like when people
Just
see
checked
old
out.
photos of me, they're like, "That's you." I'm like,
Right.
"That was me."
Yeah.
And he took me under his wing and brought me into the gym.
And look at you now.
And it was a new year, new me. This is why I don't hate on the new year, new me people too much, because
started.
I was a fucking new year, new me.
Yeah.
And that's what changed my life.
Yeah.
And I remember like maybe 4 or 5 weeks in, I was talking to my brother. I was like, bro, if I don't lose any more weight, I feel so much better. So the gym for me is my mental health. You know, you see those T-shirts. I don't know, on Instagram I see them like, the gym is my psych ward. The gym is my mental. Like that is absolute fact for me, and that's why, you know, we talk a lot about fitness on this show.
We do, but it's you know, it's a big thing.
It is
being fit, and it's also, it shows that you care about yourself.
Yeah. It is. It's an outward.
Even if you just take an hour, 30 minutes a day, a couple times a week, that shows that you care about yourself.
Right. 100%. And so for me, like, and I had a conversation with a person I worked with, and they're like the gym is my mental health. And I'm always a proponent of like, listen, I'm not anti like medication or therapy or any of those things. I think that there's a place for them.
For sure.
But I'm like, what are you eating? And what is your activity like? Can we try those two things first?
It's a great place to start.
It's a great place to start. If those two things don't work, let's go down other avenues. But can we at least start by doing healthy things?
Absolutely.
To see if that helps you become more healthy.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I'm not the jacked guy in the world, but I'm like, that's why fitness is so important to me. It literally saved my life.
Right.
And then, you know, it's funny. So working now has become a better place. I've got this mindset because I see the results that I'm getting in the gym through hard work. And so then I'm like, what if I applied that same hard work in
work?
Right. And so again, I have a mentor, my mentor Lucian. He was my manager at the time at Rockwell, where I was working at the factory. And I mean, like, he suspended me from work because I was not like the best employee.
Right.
We were unionized, so he couldn't fire me. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
Otherwise, I would have been gone.
Right.
But then he saw that work starting to happen and started giving me more and more opportunities. Like machine operator, lead hand. Eventually, I became a supervisor.
Right.
Then I became the lead supervisor overseeing a 24-hour production facility. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was like everything started to change when I realized and this is why the gym is a great metaphor, is if you put in the work, you will get the results.
Even if it's a little bit down the road. And that's the best thing about the gym, that you will get those results if you stay consistent.
Right.
Every time I've gone to the gym for a couple months here, a couple months there, I've never seen nothing.
Right, because you quit before it was going to happen. Right? And it's the same with, and in my experience, the same with your career. It's like everybody wants to get this promotion or this raise next year. It's like, it might take you 2 or 3 years because, especially if you were like me and you fucking ruined your reputation for a little while, you need to earn that back. People need to know that you're reliable and you're trustworthy and you're able to show up every single day and you're not calling in sick all the time and doing, you know, to be able to move yourself up to make more money, to get those promotions, to change your life.
Right.
And so I was able to do that. And then my life really, really changed in August of 2018. Again, like I said, I always had that 2-year friend itch coming back. I had started hanging out with a new group of people. And as social as I was, I'd never done like trips with friends or any of that stuff. I was never like, oh, all the boys are getting together and going here, or the guys in the summer we're renting a boat.
Doing drugs.
For real. And then
too.
just drinking at the bar and doing drugs and just, I never thought about
bigger things.
No.
It's like, where am I getting a bag from?
Right. Like, what do you mean? You scheduled a thing for 3 weeks from now?
I didn't have money for that.
I didn't have, no, I didn't. I was living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
I was in debt. I was like, I didn't. And so I had met this new group of friends, I was in shape. I was making money because I was promoted. I was not drinking and partying like I used to do. So I was saving money as well. And my friend Dave, who is like my longtime best friend, like I admired the shit out of the guy. He was always one of those guys that I looked at and I was like, if I can be more like him, then I'm going to be successful, right? And he's inspired and helped me grow in so many ways. But it was his birthday, and he's like, we're all going to Vegas for my birthday. I was supposed to go to Vegas a few weeks earlier for a friend's bachelor party. He called off the wedding, and so they weren't going to the bachelor party in Vegas. So I was like, I got this time. Now my friend is at 2 weeks later. He's going to go to Vegas. Okay, let's do it. I've never been. Let's go. And so I went to Vegas for his birthday, which was an amazing experience on so many levels. The first one was a group of friends wanted me to hang out with them
be a part of it. They trusted you to put money in. They trusted you to stay there.
Right.
They trusted you to...
We like you enough to include you in this special thing. To me, it meant a lot. And on the last day that I was there, we were coming into the Flamingo pool party, hanging out, and this bombshell of a girl, Biggie, walks up to me. Well, she was in the pool. I was on the side talking to a guy, and she goes, "Hey, you." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Adam." She's like, "Well, are you going to get in the pool and hang out with me or what?" So I did. I jumped in that pool. And the rest
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
Good for you, man.
We hung out that whole night, went on a date. I walked her back to her room, and we started doing 8 months long distance, where I would fly from Hamilton, which is, for those of you who are not Canadian, Hamilton is just outside of Toronto, and Eliza lives in Vancouver. So think like New York to LA type of vibe, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
And so I would fly out there once a month on weekends, take a flight on Friday and take a red eye home on Sunday, get off the plane and go to work on Monday.
It's beautiful.
I did that for 8 months, and we realized
this is it.
This is like,
let's do it.
Yeah. I'm like, no more wasting time. So I packed up my car. I gave my apartment I hope this is okay to say it, but I gave my apartment to my homie because he was wanting to get out of his house.
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah, you told me that.
And so he moved in, but I had really great rent control.
Yeah.
And so we pretended that we were in a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
So that he could get put on the lease.
Hey, man.
And then we broke up, and he took over the lease.
Yeah.
So
hey, man, you gotta get that. You gotta get that rent control.
Yeah.
You gotta help.
Help out the homies.
So
I left most of my stuff. Was there.
Yeah.
I literally packed my clothes, my record player, my records, and some photos, and drove across the country to BC.
And it worked out.
It worked out. And, there's a saying about, I think it's in the Bible maybe, but about how working by yourself, you can reach 1,000 people, but when you have the right spouse, you can reach tens of thousands. So it's like having the right person doesn't just double your impact. It's like 10 times your impact. And that's been the life I live now with Eliza, where we are doing coaching, doing this podcast, positivity, all these things have happened as I first bet on myself once I got myself healthy. So
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. That's a little bit of my story.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I love it. Should I jump into mine or?
Yeah, well, let's save that for next week.
All right. So we'll save that for next week. All right,
yeah,
perfect. That was beautiful, man. I'm glad you guys getting a little bit more insight onto who Adam is. Adam Churchman, the man. Better than yesterday, baby. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.